Good morning, students. Okay, let us start with the today's class. So in the last class, we discussed about the total internal reflection. Then after that, today we need to discuss with the prism formula. Then we will go for the lens and the lens makers formula. Okay. So let us see. What do you mean by prism first? So prism andre enanta artha madkolana. So prism is nothing but it is a glass bounded surface. So how many of you have seen the prism, Hedi? If you have seen the prism, little you can imagine. Prism nodidira? Yes, yes. So if you see the prism here, it consists of, it is a glass bounded surface. It consists of two triangular faces and rectangular faces. Okay, so if you see the prism here, the prism is consisting of two triangular faces. So munde one triangular face irutte. So when you hold it in your hand, you will see, and backside one triangular face will be there. And here you can join these all ends. So now front ಮತ್ತೆ back ಅಲ್ಲಿ triangular face ಆಯ್ತು. So when you join these end to end, here you are getting one this side rectangular face ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, and one more will be at the bottom. So the prism is nothing but which consists of three rectangular surfaces and two triangular surfaces. So such type of optically bounded mediums are called as what? Prism. So you can define that is a prism is a homogeneous optically medium bounded by the three rectangular and the two triangular faces. Okay. Now, here, where all we can use this prism? Prisms are used to obtain the spectrum. So in your school time, you have studied about the spectrum, right? So what do you mean by the spectrum here? When the white light is passed through the prism. So prism alli white light pass adaga, here it will split out into its constituent colors. So class 10th students, that is when a white light is passed through the prism, it will get split into 7 constituent colors. It will get split into 7 constituent colors. This phenomena is called as what? That is spectrum anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. The splitting up of light into its 7 constituent colors is called as what? Spectrum. Okay. So ಇದೇನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Phenomena is called as dispersion. The phenomena is called as what? Dispersion. Okay. To get the spectrum, we are using the prism. And in some of the optical instruments like binoculars use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. Yes. So binoculars are there, cameras are there where we can use this prism here. Okay. Now here we are discussing the prism again, which is important for the 5 marks question. So the derivation is little big. So see, one by one we will start seeing the steps. Okay. So here they may ask you to find out the question for maybe what is derive the expression for the prism formula, or they may ask you derive the expression for the refractive index of the glass prism. So glass prism refractive index find out ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ they may ask you to derive the prism formula. Okay, so for that reason what we are going to do, we are going to take one prism, only one face we are considering here. Then next here we are taking the incident ray. So this is the incident ray, and this is my refracted ray, and this is the emergent ray. Yes. So incident ray, refracted ray, and the emergent ray. Now here this will be the normal drawn to the surface. This will be the normal drawn to the surface. Now I can extend my incident ray. So here whatever the incident ray is there, I can extend this incident ray. So when I extend this incident ray and this emergent ray, so illen third ray nodta idira, iden horagade bandadden ray ide, this is called as the emergent ray. Okay. So here the angle formed between this extended incident ray matte emergent ray, that is called as angle of deviation. D in the denote ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So this is called as what? Angle of deviation. It is called as angle of deviation. Okay. Now here let us mark the other angles now. So here we are taking the angle I1. Then next Here we have the R1. Okay, so diagram simultaneously copy ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So for that reason, I'm drawing one big prism and showing all the angles. Derivation ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ rub ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So you can see all the angles clearly with respect to this. So I'll name this prism as X, Y, Z. This is the bottom of the prism. Okay, so now let us see the rays. So first, the incident ray. This is our incident ray, and this is our refracted ray, and the ray which is coming out second time, that is the emergent ray. So if I extend the incident ray, extend ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ incident ray ಅನ್ನ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೇನ್ emergent ray ಇದೆ, the angle between these two is called as what? Angle of deviation. Okay, so now for the first xy surfacing one normal ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. So here we are taking one normal, and for xz surface we are taking one normal. So we will meet these two lines at n point. Now labeling we will do. So this is the angle of incidence I1. PQ is the incident ray, QR is the refracted ray, RSC is the emergent ray. So this is I1, angle of incidence. This is R1, angle of refraction. So here I'll take it as what? That is D1. So this ray I'll consider it as D1. But illen angle ide with refracted ray and the normal drawn, that is taken as R1. Okay. And R2 is the incident ray for the second surface. So this N is the normal. Here this is our angle I2. Okay. So now this is angle of prism A. Yes. See students. So figure for the prism formula derivation. What we have taken here, we have taken a prism XY prism anta tagondidivi. Then after that we have taken the incident ray PQ. So what I am saying ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಏನಿದೆ, we have a prism. So prism ಇದೆ, prism ಅಲ್ಲಿ PQ is the incident ray, QR is the PQ is the incident ray, QR is the refracted ray, and RS is the emergent ray. RS is the emergent ray. I1 is the angle of incidence. Then the angle of deviation. R1 is the angle of refraction. R2 is the angle of incidence for the second surface XZ. R1 angle of refraction. R1 refracting angle ide. R2 incident angle for the second surface. ಅಥವಾ second time refracting angle ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, no problem. So D1, D2 are again the deviations. Capital D is angle of deviation. A is the prism angle. A is prism angle. Yes, figure is clear to everyone. See, any doubt is there in the figure? Please ask. Because once you understand the figure, the derivation will be easy for you. If any doubt is there, please ask. You can copy down the figure. So this is our I2. Here you can show D2 also. That is angle of deviations. I is angle of incidence. I is angle of incidence. I1. So you can just take it as I, because I1, I2 anta. Okay, I2 is also there. So I1 is the angle of incidence. Yes. Any doubt in the figure? take one small figure for the derivation now. Yes. So what is your figure here? We have taken x, y, z. X, Y, Z is the prism. Then next, here we are taking the incident ray, refracted ray, and the emergent ray. So whatever the extended incident ray is there and the emergent ray is there, this is the angle of deviation. Here we have the normal drawn. Here we have the normal drawn to the second surface. So this is our angle of incidence I1. And here we have R1. And this side we have R2. And the angle of the prism is taken as A. And then next, if you see the figure, so if I extend this refracted ray, which is the incident ray for the second surface, so this angle will be angle of deviation, that is D2, and this is the I2, angle of incidence. Okay, so now from the figure, students, so derivation enanta ide, that is we need to derive the expression for the refractive index of the glass prism. So for the refractive index formula is what? The refractive index according to the second law, it is given by, according to the second law of the refraction, it is sine of I divided by sine of R. That is the ratio of the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of emergence is called as what here? Refractive index. So here I'll take it as sine of I1 divided by sine of R1. So make it as equation 1, because further now that all we are going to substitute equation 1. So now the equation 1 is according to the second law of refraction, that is sine of I1 is equal to sine R1 divided by sine R1, n is equal to. So now the total deviation in the figure. The total deviation D is written as what? It is nothing but D1 plus D2. So this is our second step. So from the figure, the total deviation is given by D1 plus D2. So now if you see the figure, D1 can be written as here, students, it is I1 minus R1, and D2 can be written as here I2 minus R2. I'll explain you how it will come. Okay. So as you can see from the figure, only we will take those angles now. So in this figure, okay, so this is the figure. This is the incident ray, refracted ray, and the emergent ray. Okay, so here we have the normal drawn. Here we have the normal drawn. Here this is the incident ray. And in this direction we are extending. Hoda. Next. So whatever this angle is there, iden extended incident ray ide, but iden refracted ray ide. Here this is the angle D1. This is the angle D1. Hoda. Now here this much angle. Il horgade yav angle ide, the outside angle is, it is I1 from the figure. So this is I1 and this total is D1. And here in between, whatever the angle is there, this one is illi. Okay. So this is R1. If you want, here you can see. Idu I1 aitu. Okay, this is I1. And this total is D1. This total is D1. And in between that, here we have R1. Here in between, we have R1. So this is R1. So what we can write here is, that is the total D1 is equal to, it is I1 plus R1. It is I1 plus I1 minus R1, or you can also say it as what? That is R1 is equal to I1 minus D1. Or you can also say that what? That is D1 is equal to I1 minus R1 from the figure. So similarly, we can write it for D2 also. So D2 L torsta idivi, this is our incident ray. And here this angle is taken as D2. And this total is taken as D. Yes. Is it clear, everyone, how to write D1, D2? D1 and D2 are I1 minus R1 and D2 is I2 minus R2. So, yeah, derivation by heart ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು problem ಇಲ್ಲ. Directly you are taking n is equal to sin I by sin R. Then D is equal to D1 plus D2. D1 is written as I1 minus R1 and I2 minus R2. Okay. So, who wants to understand the derivation? Here, you need to understand this figure. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು geometry ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಬೇಕು. Yes. Any doubt is there, students? Can I proceed with the next step? Okay. So the next step. Here we have now D is equal to D1 plus D2. That is D1 is written as I1 minus R1 and D2 is written as I2 minus R2. Now here just grouping the terms, the same terms. So first I am making I1 plus I2 one group. Then next minus into bracket I am writing it as what? R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. So I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. So this is our equation 2. So equation 1 is, so equation 3 manana. Equation 1 is from the refraction law. It is n is equal to sin I1 by sin R1. Equation 2, the total deviation is given by D1 plus D2. So substitute D1, substitute D2, then you will get, after grouping, you will get equation 3. Now, if you consider the quadrilateral, so figure ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು quadrilateral form ಅದ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ with respect to x, q, n, r. So where this x, q, n, r will come, see. So the prism is named as what? X, y, z. ಹೌದಾ? Next, ಇಲ್ಲೇನ್ incident ray ಇದೆ. This is taken as PQ. ಹೌದಾ? Then next, ಇಲ್ಲೇನ್ normal ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. This is taken as n. And then next here, whatever the refracted ray is there. So here it is taken as R. So if you consider only this much part, it is looking like a quadrilateral. Agree here, students? It is X, Q, N, R. It is X, Q, N, R is a quadrilateral. So from the quadrilateral theorem, the derivation is little lengthy. So you need to concentrate completely. So from the quadrilateral X, Q, N, R. So quadrilateral X, Q, N, R prakara. So ನಿಮಗೆ theorem ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬಹುದು, that is A plus opposite angles, that is A, one is angle of the prism plus QNR is equal to 180 degree, equation 4. Yes, everybody knows the quadrilateral, the opposite angles, the sum of the opposite angles is equal to 180 degree. Now, from the triangle, A is equal to, so from the triangle, A is written as, A value anna, we can take a triangle now. So, in the figure, let us take the triangle Q, N, R. Now, if you see, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೀವು figure ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು QNR ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ. So, now from the triangle QNR, the sum of the angles, the sum of the interior angles plus QNR is equal to, yes, sum of the equal to how much in the triangle? That is R1 plus R2 plus QNR is equal to. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ triangle, sum of the triangles, sum of the interior angles in the triangle. Don't know? Yes, it is 180 degree, correct? So this is 180 degree, it is equation 5. So illivarge nimge very, very important. Then after that, we have just comparison of the equation. Okay, so first please understand these 5 steps here, students. See, so first in madidvi, according to the refracting angle, according to that is second law of refraction, now in baritivi, that is n is equal to sin I by sin R, but here angle is taken as I1 and R1. Then after that, equation 1, the total deviation is given by d is equal to d1 plus d2. ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ d1 ಅನ್ನ i1 minus r1 ಮತ್ತೆ d2 ದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಗರ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ i2 minus r2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ grouping the terms i1 plus i2 minus into bracket r1 plus r2, this is our equation 3. Now if you consider the quadrilateral, so quadrilateral ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ the sum of the opposite angles is equal to 180 degree. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ a plus qnr is equal to 180 degree. Now if I consider the triangle qnr, so ಇಲ್ಲೇನ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ triangle QNR ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Here what you are observing the QNR. ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ the sum of the interior angle is equal to 180 degree. So this is our equation 5. So please copy down till equation 5. If any doubt is there, ಯಾವ step ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಂತಂತ please ask. So next, please copy down. I'm going for the next steps now. So if I compare equation 3, 4 and 5 here students, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 180 degree is equal to 180 degree is equal to ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿದೆ QNR, these two are same. So A compare ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so when I compare equation 4 and 5, equation 4 and 5 ಅನ್ನ compare ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, we can write A is equal to R1 plus R2. This is my equation 6. So if I compare the equations, A can be written as what? R1 plus R2. A is written as R1 plus R2. Now, substitute equation 6 in equation 3. Because equation 3 ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ R1 plus R2 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Yes, now going to, so substituting 6 in 3. Substituting 6 in 3. So that becomes D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus A equation 7. So please copy down till equation 7. We have the last steps for the derivation. ಏನೇನೋ substitute ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ just comparison of the equations are there. So till equation 5, understand clearly. So once we are taking quadrilateral theorem, then according to the prism angles. So please copy down. Once you complete the notes, please tell me, we will go for the next step. So another 3-4 steps are there. Yes, completed everyone till equation 7. So please see, I'm going to clean this. So I'll repeat it once again. So first, n is equal to sine I1 by sine R1. So in this formula, we have to understand what is I1 and R1. So ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ steps ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ to take what is I1 and R1 value, because ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ equation 1 ಅನ್ನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Okay, so first ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, total deviation d is equal to d1 plus d2. So from the figure d1 ಮತ್ತೆ d2 values ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು grouping the terms equation 3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Then consider the quadrilateral, then consider the triangle. So if you compare both equations 6 and 7, we are here. Okay, so now let us go for the next steps. So but I'll keep here equation 1 because at the end we are substituting here. So equation 1 ಏನಿತ್ತು, sine I1 divided by sine R1 equation 1. So now here we consider at minimum angle of deviation. One graph we are taking here. So actually angle of minimum deviation anta second year ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು practical ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is here, if you see the graph, ನೀವೊಂದು experiment ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ angle of minimum deviation ಗೆ angle of incidence versus angle of deviation ಏನಾದ್ರು graph plot ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, the graph nature is somewhat like this. So ಇದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು, for some angle of incidence, the angle of deviation is what? It is the least, because ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, values increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? So first high ಇತ್ತು, ಕಡೆಗೆ decrease ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ values increase ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so if you take two more angles here, so ಎರಡ್ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ here you can see this is the angle of incidence I1 and this is the angle of incidence I2. Correct? But here what happens, the angle of deviation is minimum. ಹೌದಾ? So ಇದನ್ನ minimum angle of deviation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So minimum angle of deviation ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ I1 is equal to I2 ಅಂತ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? Because if you observe here graph here students, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇರುವಂತ ನೇಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, at this point here you have I1 value, I2 value. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ I1 value, I2 value. If you take again some different angle of deviation, I1 value, I2 value. So same ಆಗಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಡೆವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಡೆವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಡೆವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು I1 is equal to I2 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Here you will be having equal to I2. ಯಾವಾಗ when you have the minimum angle deviation, when you have minimum angle deviation, right? So therefore ನಾವೇನ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so see what we can do substitution here, that is at minimum angle of deviation, at minimum angle of deviation I1 is equal to I2 and R1 is equal to R2. So at minimum angle of deviation I1 is equal to I2 irutte, R1 is equal to R2 irutte. Therefore ನಾವು ಈಗಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, A is equal to R1 plus R2 ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ R1 is equal to R2 ಇದ್ದಾಗ R1 plus R ಅಂತ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ 2R1 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದು A ಆಯ್ತು, which is equal to R1 is equal to here students, it is A divided by 2. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ R1 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, A by 2 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಲಿಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕೇಳಿ. So aim of the derivation is what? To derive the refractive index value for the prism. So refractive index of the prism is given by what? That is sin I1 by sin R1. So ಈಗ derivation ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈಗ R1 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, that is A divided by 2. At what condition? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ terms and condition ಏನಿದೆ? At minimum angle of deviation. ಹೌದಾ? Yes, till here is it clear? So we can go for the last step. So according to total deviation, you first ಏನ್ step ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ ನೋಡಿ. So total deviation, instead of writing it as small d, I'll take it as capital D. So total deviation is written as I1 plus I2 minus A, which is equal to, so I1 plus I2. So I1 is equal to I2 irodrinda we can write it as 2I1 minus A. This is D is equal to, namge A I1 bekagide. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ I1 is equal to ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? A ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. It becomes A plus D divided by 2. So I have the value of I1 also. I1 R2, I1 R2, R1 ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. So I1 R1 both we have now. R2 will also be same as R1. Yes, R1 and R2 both are same. R1 and R2 both are same. So when you say I1 is equal to R1, it means that R1 is also is equal to R2. I1, I2 same idre R1 and R2 is also same. Okay. Yes, any other doubts? If you have written the previous steps of the derivation, you will understand. Okay, so R1 value is there. So let us substitute in equation 1. See what we are going to get. That is, the equation 1 is n is equal to sine of R1 by sine of R2. So just substitute I1 R2. I1 R1. So n is equal to, it is sine of I1 value. What is I1 value? It is A plus D divided by 2 divided by R1 value. It is sine of A divided by 2. So this is the formula for the refractive index of the prism, and this derivation is also called as prism formula. So ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? Prism formula ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So see, if any doubt is there, please ask. Copy down. We will go for the lens. Yes. Copy down. We will understand what is lens, and if possible, some small concepts in that. Okay. Yes. So the next concept here, students. So one part of the lesson is completed. Like we have discussed about the mirror, types of mirror, mirror formula. So the next prism formula. Now the mirror concept we are going to discuss. Okay. So what do you mean by the mirror here? See, sorry, not mirror. That is what do you mean by the lens we are discussing. So lens is nothing but it is a homogeneous optical medium. So now lens ಅನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? It is the homogeneous optical medium bounded by the two surfaces. It is bounded by the two surfaces in that at least one. ಎರಡು ಇದ್ರೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. In that at least one must be a spherical surface. If at least one must be a spherical surface. So that type of figures or the optically bounded surfaces are called as what? Mirror lenses anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So ನೀವೀಗ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. So this is two curved surfaces. This is again a two curved surfaces. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು figure ಇದೆ. This is one curved surface. We can take, this is again one curved surface. This is one is concave, one is convex surface. ಹೌದಾ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ two bounded surfaces. So this one is the two bounded surfaces. This is again two curved surfaces, one curved surface, one plane surface, one curved, one plane. One is concave, one is convex. So ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಬೈ ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. This is called as the convex lens. This is called as the concave lens. This is called as the concave lens. And this one is the plano convex lens. So il third end nodta idira, this is the plano convex. It is the plano convex lens. And this one is the plano concave lens. It is the plano concave lens. And this one is the concavo. It is the concavo convex lens. It is the concavo convex lens. So this is concavo convex lens. Okay. So these are the different types of the lenses. So biconvex lens ಅಥವಾ biconcave lens ಅನ್ನ just convex concave lenses ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. So if you consider only the concave and the convex lenses, because these have the many practical uses. So this is convex lens. This is the principal axis. So convex lens ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the light rays will go and meet at one particular point. The light rays will go and meet at the one particular point. This is called as the convex lens. This is the convex lens. If you go for the concave lens, here what happens? These are the incident ray. The ray will get refracted. After refraction, idu ee point inda hodage ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ for the concave lenses. Okay. So here this is how the images are formed in case of the convex and the concave lenses. Okay, new school ali already idralli two types of image formation you have studied, but here we will not discuss that. Aden namge astu important illa. And here the lens formula, not lens makers formula, mirror formula enanta kalti, that is 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by v u. Similarly, lens formula is given by 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. So idenide lens formula. Melgadedu lens mirror formula. Gottagta idya? So the terms are having the same meaning. F is the focal length, v is the objected image distance, u is the object distance. So tomorrow we are going to do the lens makers formula derivation. Okay. ಸೊ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್ ಡೆರಿವೇಶನ್ ಅದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಾಕಿ we have the optical instruments. So another, I think 3 classes we require to complete this chapter. Okay, students. So we will meet in the next class. Thank you. If any doubt is there, ask.